In this tutorial, we're going to build a complete WooCommerce site using the Laveri theme from WordPress. We're going to start at square one, buying a domain name and getting your hosting, and working all the way through all the setup to have a fully functioning WooCommerce site. If you have any questions throughout this tutorial, please leave them down below. We try to answer them the best we can. My name is Bjorn Allpass from WP Learning Lab. I'm doing this video for WordPress on the WordPress channel. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Now let's get started. First things first, we have to get a domain name and a hosting account. The domain name is the address of our website. For example, this website right here is called SiteGround, and it is at siteground.com. That is the domain. So whatever you want people to type in to a browser to get to your site is your domain name. And that's quite often a company name if you're running a business. And you need a hosting account. And the hosting account is where all the files live. Websites are made of files and databases, and those live in a hosting account. And the hosting provider I currently use and recommend is called SiteGround, and it's right here, as you can see. When you come to this page, you'll see right now is a summer sale. They always have sales, so this isn't uncommon. So it might not be a summer sale when you come here. It might be the fall sale or Black Friday or what have you. But what you want to do is find the WordPress hosting section and then click on Get Started. If there's no card like this, you can find it up in the menu under Hosting and then WordPress Hosting. And we see our WordPress hosting prices. The big difference between these is A, the price, but B, the power of the hosting account. So in the startup one on the left here, you only have one website that you can have on this account. If you're planning on doing more than one website right away, you should go with Grow Big or Go Geek. If one website is fine for you right now, then stick with the startup. And as you upgrade to bigger plans, you get more server resources. For example, Grow Big has unlimited websites, 20 gigabytes of websites instead of 10 gigabytes, 25,000 monthly visits approximately instead of 10,000. And it has, if we go down the bottom, on-demand backup copies, ultra-fast PHP, and staging functionality. And then if you go to Go Geek, it has even more powerful resources up here, and you have more features over here. So pick the one that's right for you, and then click on Get Plan. I'm just going to choose Startup. We're just doing one website today. And on this page, we pick our domain name. If you don't have one yet, you can register one right here. If you have one already, you can click this radio button here saying I have a domain, and you type it in here. And if you don't have one, type in your company name here and it will search to see if that domain name is available. If it's not, it will give you other options. The domain name I'm going to register today is Let's Build Websites. I'm going to make sure this domain registration box is checked right here, then click on Proceed. And that domain already exists, so we have to pick a new one. Sometimes it gives you ideas for other ones. Let's try this one. Let's build a website. That sounds terrible, but that's also taken. So here's other options you could use with different endings. Instead of a .com, you have a .net, .biz, .nl, and I recommend you stay with a .com or a .org because those are just better for branding. So I'm going to keep adding stuff here. Let's build websites together. It's getting pretty long. You want to keep yours as short as you can, but if yours is a company name, it's likely not taken yet. So that's good. This is a pretty generic domain name on a pretty popular topic, building websites, so there aren't a lot of options. Let's click on Proceed on that one, and that one is available. So that's awesome. Now we just fill out this form. It's pretty long. It's an order form, so it takes a bit of time to fill out. So I'm just going to pause this video while I fill out this top section here. Now this is done. We go down to the payment area, which is right here, and we enter our credit card info. So I'll do that right now really quick. And after our credit card info, we finalize some details. We have the startup plan at the US data center. If you don't like the data center, click this little icon right here, and you can change to a different one. You want to pick one that's closest to where your traffic is going to be. So you might be located in Germany, but you know that for your website, most of the traffic is going to be in the US. You want to pick a US data center. So you want to pick the data center closest to where most of your traffic will be, not where you live necessarily, unless where you live is where your traffic is. So I generally pick the US for my data centers. And the billing period, this is how long your hosting account is registered. You renew every so often, every year usually. And for this setup right here, we have 12 months and says that's the best deal. That is the best deal on a per month basis. It's $5 per month with the sale that's going on right now, and then $60 in total for the year is what it is because you pay for the full year up front. Once that year is over, the amount will be $15 a month. So on month 13, you're going to start paying $15 a month. If you were to increase this to 24 months, then you're going to pay an equivalent of $10 a month and then $240 upfront. And you're going to have, after those 24 months are over, you're going to have a $12 a month equivalent fee. You're going to have to pay yearly, but it's going to be the equivalent of $12 a month, which is still cheaper than the $12 a month. So if you're doing this long term, which you should be, it's cheaper to go for 24 months. If you go for 36 months, it's then $10.49 a month, $377 upfront. That's what you pay right now. You have your hosting account for 3 full years. And then when those 3 years are up, that's when you'd be increased to whatever the current price is at that time. So you're locking in for a lower dollar amount, because if you go with the 12, just to recap, we have $15 a month after 12 months. Here we have $10 a month after the first year, after the second year. For a full 3 years, $10 a month. So this ends up being the better deal. So which one you choose is up to you. I'm going to choose just 1 month because I already have enough hosting accounts. I'm just making a new one for the purposes of these videos so that I can show you exactly what happens when you go through this process. So don't pick 1 month for yours. You want to think long term, pick at least 12, and the better deals are the longer ones. So we have domain registration added. You can add domain privacy if you want. This allows you to hide information when someone tries to look up who owns your domain. There's a website called whois.com, and you can type in any domain here, like microsoft.com, and click on search, and it will show you who has registered the domain. It says here it's unavailable. Click on who is, and here it shows when it was registered, when it expires, and it shows you who registered it, domain administrator at Microsoft Corporation, and here's the address, and here's their phone number, and all this stuff is listed publicly. As you can see, this is a public website. So if you don't want your information listed publicly, you would choose domain privacy. It costs an extra $12 a year with the current sale, $24 a year regularly, and this keeps your information private. I select this for most of my websites, but not all of them. If I'm building niche websites that just are there to drive traffic and sell ad space, I'll use domain privacy. But if this was a company website, I would choose not to have domain privacy, because if you're a company that has an address and you're a legitimate company, you want people to phone you, want people to contact you, you want them to come to your place of business because that's where you do business, then you don't want to hide who you are. You want to be out there. You want to be found. So I wouldn't choose domain privacy if you're an actual business with an actual location, or you want people to phone you and be able to find your phone number. It's great to not have domain privacy turned on. SG Site Scanner is a malware scanner that scans your site to see if it's been hacked or if malicious code has been injected into it. This is important to have if you're not checking your site every day. With SiteGround, if you use the Grow Big plan or higher, not the startup, but the other ones, you have automated backups, which means every day there's going to be a backup made of your site. And if you have SG Site Scanner, every day your site's scanned. And if, say, today your site's been hacked, but yesterday it wasn't, you can just go back and restore yesterday's files, and your site's back online. That's the benefit of having more expensive plans, because there's more features like that. But SG Site Scanner can be added to any site level, including startup. So if you want to have this service, check that box. If you don't, then don't check it. Then check these 2 boxes down here and click on Pay Now. Your account was successfully created. Proceed to customer area. We're also going to get some emails I'm going to show you with our information. You want to keep those emails safe. First, let's proceed to customer area by clicking this button right here. Let's close these tabs up here. And now we're in the dashboard of your SiteGround account. This is where you'll go every time that you log in. And at the very beginning here, it says we have to verify our domain. If we don't, it won't work. So we have to check our email for instructions. So let's quickly pop into our email account. We received 3 emails from SiteGround after we completed our purchase. The first one is the sales receipt. Make sure you print this out and keep this for your records. The second is important information about your new hosting plan, and it gives you the login info right here. I had to change my email address because my other email is already on an account in SiteGround, so maybe pick a new one. So I just use this one. And it says again, complete your domain verification. You'll receive an additional email for this domain. And that's this one right here, verification required. So if you didn't buy a domain through SiteGround, you would not be getting this email. But if you did, you get an email just like this. And to verify it, all we have to do is click on this link right here. So let's click that link. Might be some instructions to follow, and there aren't. You just got to verify our contact details. That's all fine. And click on verify info. And now our contact info and the domain has been verified. The verification message inside your hosting account is going to be here for 24 hours. It says here if you complete a verification, ignore this message. It will disappear automatically within 24 hours. So that's our case. We did the verification and that's just going to go away on its own. So you don't have to worry about it. Next, we're actually going to install WordPress and start building a site. SiteGround makes this really, really simple. It's going to close these tabs up here first to keep everything organized. So in your dashboard, it even has steps walking you through what to do. Step 1, install or migrate WordPress. We're going to install rather than migrate. Point your domain. This is done automatically because we registered at SiteGround. You can use a temporary URL for your site. This is more for people who have a Grow Big account. You can build other websites with a temporary domain and then link it to a real domain later on. But with the startup account that we bought, we already have our domain because we registered it when we bought our hosting account. Step 4, transfer domain, doesn't apply to us in our case. Step 5, change the domain of your site, that won't apply to us. Create email accounts at your domain, that will apply to us. Transfer email from a previous host, doesn't apply to us. Set up your email on phone or desktop, that would apply to us as well. So a bunch of these steps we're going to do. We're going to do the first step right here, which is install WordPress. If you click these buttons, it actually takes you to help pages, telling you how to do these things. So when we click the button install WordPress, it'll go to a help page that tells us to click on setup site right here. So let's click on that button. We're going to create a new website. Even though we have a domain name, it's still a new website. So click on select on our new website. And now we choose our application. We can choose to install just WordPress, WordPress and WooCommerce together, or Weebly Site Builder. We're going to choose WooCommerce and WordPress together because we're going to build a WooCommerce site. Click on select for that one. Set up login details. This is an email address that we're going to use to log into the site, join@learninglab.com. For your password, click on generate to generate a strong password like this one right here. This would be required. SiteGround will not let you proceed without having a strong password here. So make sure you pick a strong one. If you don't like the one you have, click on the eyeball to view it. Click on this button right here to keep generating new ones. So make sure you pick a good one. Then copy it and then store it somewhere safe because you're going to need this password to log into your site. And then when you're ready, click on continue. Now we have the option to again add SG Site Scanner or domain privacy. If you didn't add those in the initial checkout, you can add them here. I'm not going to choose either of those. Then click on finish. Now it's creating our site. Within 2 minutes, our website will be live. So let's just hang tight and let SiteGround work its magic. And it's all done. Our website at this domain is ready to rock and roll. Here it shows us to point our domain to here. If you registered your domain elsewhere, not SiteGround, when you bought the hosting account, you have to change your DNS records to point to here. And YouTube has lots of videos showing you how to do that. Let's try visiting this site right now. Let's copy this URL. Let's paste it into the address bar of a new tab. And there should be something to see here. There we go. Well, there's nothing here, but there is still something to see. If the website was not here, it would just show an error. So our website is here. This could possibly be your very first website. You might want to share this with your mom, with your friends. Don't share on social media yet because there's nothing here. But at the very least, be excited and celebrate that you have your website online. And now you can customize this to be the perfect site for your company and do awesome things with it. Let's go back to our SiteGround account, see if there's anything else we have to do. Not really, but we can go to Site Tools. Give you a quick look at what that is. This is the area in SiteGround where you manage your website. So here we have our website right here. If you have multiple on an account, you click change. You can choose others. We only have one because it's only a one site hosting account. And this area allows you to manage things like your site files, security, site speed, WordPress itself, your domain, your email, statistics about your hosting account usage, and an area for developers to do more fancy stuff within your hosting account. You don't have to spend too much time in here. I just want to make you aware that it exists and how to get here. So we click that little link to get here that said Site Tools. You're not going to find it that way on a day-to-day basis. Where you find it is if we go back to our main SiteGround dashboard, you recognize this as the page where we first started. We have a verification call to action here and our checklist down below. And we had a setup site button right here. That's gone because we set up our site. So to get to the Site Tools area, we click on Websites. And if you have a larger account like Grow Big or larger, you might have multiple sites here. In the startup account, you just have one. This is our site right here. Click on Site Tools, and that will take you into the Site Tools section where we just were, which is right here. So on a regular day-to-day basis, that's how you're going to get to the Site Tools area. And now we're going to log into WordPress and check out the back end. So let's go to wp-admin, and this is our WordPress login form. And we're going to enter the details that we entered when we set up the site. I enter my email address, bjorn@wplearninglab.com, and that secure password. This is why we had to save them, because you want to be able to log in. So you have to save those things and be ready to use them when you need them. Click on login. And if you have something like LastPass, which I have, you can save the password right into your LastPass. So you don't have to remember it, because they're complicated passwords. And if you have lots and lots of complicated passwords, it gets pretty tedious to have those all in a notepad file or somewhere else. It's so much better in LastPass or OnePass or something like that. So now we are in the SiteGround Setup plugin. I don't use this very often or ever. So I'm going to click on Exit. And we're going to go through the WordPress backend manually, which I think is much more valuable, especially if you're following along and you didn't use SiteGround for your hosting, or you already had a hosting account. This is just an additional website you're adding on to your hosting account. So that wizard we just exited out of is specific to SiteGround. So if you're not on SiteGround, don't worry about it. If you are on SiteGround and you have that plugin installed, you can skip that piece, then go to Plugins, and we can deactivate and delete WordPress Starter, which is that setup wizard. So we don't need that here anymore. Let's deactivate that and then delete it. And let's go back to the main dashboard. And this is where the regular day-to-day maintenance of your website will occur. This is where you create posts. This is where you create pages. This is where you create WooCommerce products. This is where you manage your WooCommerce orders. This is where you customize your site design. Pretty much everything to do with the day-to-day use of your site happens in here. And once you're in here, you might be wondering, how do you get back to the front end? To do that, hover over My WordPress up here. We're going to change that name in just a minute. Then click on Visit Site or Visit Store. If you have WooCommerce installed, it'll say Visit Store. If you don't, this link won't be there. Click on Visit Site, and it takes you back out to the front, and there's nothing here. It looks a little different than it did a moment ago because I zoomed in, so you guys can see better what I'm doing. And to go back in the dashboard, just hover over My WordPress or whatever this name is in the top corner and click on Dashboard. There's a few things we have to do to clean up our WordPress site because there's some demo data that WordPress installs that we don't need. First, let's go to Posts. There's nothing here. There is one item in the trash, which is Hello World. Usually this is out in the main area. Let's bring that back actually. I don't know why it's deleted already. So most often you'll come in here and there'll be a Hello World post that'll be published or in draft mode. We don't need that. We can click on Trash to delete it. Let's check to see if there's any categories. There's only uncategorized. You can't delete that one. At least not right now. No tags. Under media, this is where we have all our images and things like that. Just a placeholder image for WooCommerce, that's fine. Let's keep that there. For pages, we have some WooCommerce pages auto added, the cart page, checkout page, my account page, privacy policy, WordPress ads, sample page is not needed. So we're going to trash that. And the shop page is also WooCommerce page. So these are all going to keep. If you didn't install WooCommerce, all you're going to see in here is privacy policy and the sample page. And you can trash the sample page whenever you see it. For comments, there's often one in here when you first install WordPress. You can just delete it. Same way we just deleted the pages and posts. Just click on Trash. Next thing we want to do is up in the top right-hand corner, we see Howdy and my email address. We might want to change that to make it more personalized. You can hover over that and click on Edit Profile, or you can go to Users, and it'll show all the users on your WordPress site, which when you first install it will just be you. Then you click on Edit to go into here, and you can change a lot of different things. And if this is your first time installing WordPress and using WordPress, I don't recommend you change a whole lot because you won't really know what you're changing. For example, you can disable the visual editor when writing. Well, if you don't know what the visual editor is, you don't really know what you're disabling. So I recommend you just leave everything as it is, just make some minor tweaks I'm going to show you now. The first one is adding your first name. And then you also want to add a last name, possibly. You don't have to. You can just add a first name. And then under nickname, I would change it from an email address to a nickname like your first name, for example, or it could be something that's actually a nickname. It really depends on how you want to brand your site because this information you choose here could appear publicly. For example, when I was a kid, people couldn't pronounce my name because I was born in Germany, then I moved to Canada, and Canadians can't pronounce this, especially not kids. So one of my nicknames when I was a kid is Bebop, and so I can put that in there as a nickname. And maybe that's a good thing for my brand. Maybe I have a kind of a fun, funky brand and a nickname like this would fit right in. Really depends on what you're creating with your WordPress site. And those considerations become relevant in the next step where we pick our display name publicly as. When you write a post and you write it with this user account, it's going to be associated with a name. And usually on posts, it says author so-and-so. In this case, it would say author Bjorn at wplearninglab.com. Or we can have it say author Bjorn or author Bebop. Or if we enter other names up here, it provides other combinations of whatever you add for your first name, last name, and nickname. So I'm going to choose Bjorn for mine. And if your website displays an author bio, that information is pulled from the biographical info box right here. So whatever you type in here is going to be in the author box on the front end of your website if the theme you're going to use has an author box. I'm just going to keep this blank for now. And if you want to change your profile picture, you can change it here. Mine is automatically pulled in because it's tied to my email address. I've used this email address for a lot of different sites. This is my company email address, and so I use it a lot. And so it's tied to what's called a Gravatar account. Let's click on this link to see what that means. Gravatar is basically what it says here, one avatar for everything, everywhere. If you create a Gravatar account, this is a WordPress product, by the way. If you create a Gravatar account, which is free, you add your profile picture to it, then anytime you add your email address to a website, a WordPress website, it pulls in that Gravatar picture. Or if you leave a comment on somebody else's WordPress website and you leave your email address in the email field, it will pull in your picture from gravatar.com. So that's why this image was pulled in. If this image isn't here, you can actually upload your own directly into here. You can change your password, click on Set New Password, pick a new one, make sure you copy it and save it somewhere, and then scroll down to the very bottom and click on Update Profile, and then that'll be your new password. I'm going to keep mine as it is. This next section is added by WooCommerce, the customer billing address and customer shipping address. So whenever someone buys something, that information will be added right into here under the user profile, and it's also going to be added under WooCommerce and orders. We'll get to that much further down the road in this tutorial, but we'll cover all that. Click on Update Profile if you made any changes, and you'll notice up in the top right it now says Howdy Bjorn, no longer Howdy email address. So that's how we can customize that little bit right up there. Next, we want to take a look at the settings. The settings are very important, and you usually only have to go through them one time, which is great. So let's first go to the general settings. And these are WordPress specific, whether you have WooCommerce or not. All your WordPress settings are going to be in here. You're going to want to set these whenever you create a new WordPress site. So for the site title, since you're going to create a WooCommerce store, it's going to be a clothing store. I'm just going to call this 99 Clothing Co. And tagline, we are clothes. Not the best tagline, but it's a tagline nonetheless. It's an exclamation after that. Not all sites need these. Even when you add one, it might not be displayed on the front end. You can set that. You can choose that later on if you want to. This is our WordPress URL and our site address. You'll notice it's not currently secure. It doesn't have an S after HTTP. I'll show you how to do that after we've gone through these settings. So we'll leave that alone for now. Administrator email address. This is the address that will receive email from WordPress if something goes on the site. Under membership, since we have a WooCommerce site and we want people to create an account when they register, when they buy something, because that will allow them to more easily buy more stuff in the future, and they can see their account information when they log into their user account here. I'm going to choose anyone can register. If you're not creating a WooCommerce site, this is not something you want to do because a lot of spam accounts are created whenever you have this on. New user default role, I'm going to have it as subscriber. This is the lowest power role on your site. Each of these roles, subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator, have successively more power on your site, the ability to do more things. The administrator can do everything. Each of these can do something. The subscriber can do the least. And customer can also do very little, but you want to save that for people who are actually buyers. So if someone registers to your site through the login form, then they'll be added as a subscriber. If someone registers through a WooCommerce checkout page, they'll be added automatically as a customer through the WooCommerce settings. And what I mean by register through the login form is because we check this box to allow anyone to register, pick your time zone. If you know the UTC, you can choose it. Or what I usually do is I find a city that's in my time zone, choose Vancouver. And this is the time zone it'll show for when posts are published and things like that. Date format you can customize here. Time format you can customize here. Shows examples of what they are. Those are all good with me. And the week starts on, I'm going to choose Monday. You can choose any other day of the week if you want. Click on Save Changes. And now we can go back out to the order form and refresh the page. And we see here a register button. So anyone can come here, enter username and email, and register. And they'll be registered as a subscriber because we chose subscriber as the default role right here. And now following that, we are going to check out the reading settings. Let's click on here. This is where we can choose a default post category. Right now we only have one category and it's uncategorized, so we can't change it. But when you add more categories under posts and categories, you can have a default category. So for example, if your website's about health, your default category could be health. So then every post you publish, by default, it goes into that category. So if you forget to change it, it doesn't show uncategorized, which doesn't look very good in my opinion. Default post format is standard. If you don't know what these are, don't worry about it, but these are basically different ways to display posts. So if you do mostly images, you probably want to have the image post as your likely post. But if you're using things like page builders or custom themes or even Gutenberg blocks, you probably won't need to do any of this. Just stick with standard and keep it at that. Post via email, this is very rarely used, but you can actually make posts and have them published as draft on your site via email using this information here. We're not going to set that up because I've personally never used it and I've never heard of anybody using it. Although I'm sure some people do, I've just never heard of it. Update services. This service is notified whenever you post a new post on your blog. And it basically pings it, which in theory tells search engines that, okay, there's a new post here, come and index it. Whether that's like that in reality, I don't know. Maybe 10 years ago it was like that, but now it's a little harder to rank in a search engine. Click on Save Settings if you change anything. Then head over to Reading. This is where we can choose what our homepage displays. By default, since WordPress is a blogging software, it displays your latest posts on the homepage. So it doesn't matter what you build in your homepage, it will overwrite it with the latest posts. You can also choose a static page. We're going to build a homepage later and a separate blog page. So we're going to choose this and then pick the homepage, pick the blog page, and then that's where our homepage and blogs will be posted. We'll do that later. These settings are pretty self-explanatory. They're for the blog post page itself. Blog pages show at most 10 posts. If there's more than 10 posts, you'll see pagination at the bottom. Syndication feeds show the most recent 10 items, and that's fine too. And you can change these. So you have this be 5 or 4 and have this be 2, whatever you want to have in here. But 10 and 10 is pretty solid. I rarely change that. For each post in a feed, include the full text or the excerpt. I usually pick excerpt because that's just a piece of the text that you can define. The full text I find is just too much when they're trying to scroll through and find the next thing to help them, the next post to help solve a problem. So I go with the excerpt, which is a smaller, more succinct piece of text that we can write and customize that gets people excited about that topic and wanting to read it. Search engine visibility. Do not check this box on a live website. It discourages search engines from indexing your site. So don't do that. Make sure this box is unchecked. The only time you might not want to do that is if you're developing your site. But even then, unless development takes 10 months, this is not something you want to check. And if it does take longer than that, you probably want to use a coming soon plugin to make a coming soon page instead of checking this option here. Click on Save Changes when you're done. Then we go over to discussion. This is where we can define discussion, the comments on posts. I rarely change this. These are all very well described with these complete sentences. So read through them, turn on and off the ones you want. You can also turn them on and off later. It doesn't have to be right now. I just want to show you what all the settings are. And then when you're done, if you make any changes, click on Save Changes at the bottom. Under Media, this is something we rarely touch as well. These are the images that are going to be created when you upload an image. So when you upload one image to WordPress, it's going to have the original image. It's going to create a second one with the large size. It's going to create a third one with the medium size and a fourth one with the thumbnail size. And these are used in various places in your theme. And depending which theme you're using, there might be different ones in here. Either way, this is not a place to mess around. Just leave these as they are, just showing you that this exists. Or if you're clicking here by accident, you don't know what it is. That's what it is. It's basically defining image sizes that are going to be used by your theme. We're going to install a highly optimized WooCommerce theme in a few minutes, and it's going to define all these sizes perfectly for that theme, and so we don't touch this area. Permalinks are an important place to be because these define the links of your site. And the links of your site help you with SEO. For example, if you were a search engine and you wanted to figure out what a site was about, you probably look at the URL, you probably look at the title, and you probably look at the content on the page. Well, the URL, if it's this one right here, when you publish a post, it's going to be $P equals and a number. That doesn't tell a search engine anything about what the post is about. Doesn't have any keywords, doesn't have any text, nothing at all. So the best you can expect is you'd rank for whatever number this is. And nobody's searching for that number to find whatever your post is. So plain is almost never used unless it's some kind of secret intranet. Even then, I wouldn't even use plain. I would never use plain for anything. The only one that I personally ever use is post name, and that is the website plus the title of the post, all in lowercase with dashes instead of spaces. And I always make sure the titles of my posts have the keywords I want to rank for. Those keywords then pop into the URL automatically. You can also edit the URL on every individual post if you want to have it be just the keywords you want, but I usually keep the whole post title, and this is the only one I use. So if you're unsure, choose this one. If you have a high volume news site, you might choose month and the name. So it's got year, month, and the name of the post. And a news site is different because articles are more timely. People might want to know if there's a forest fire and you're writing about it. They want to know if you're writing about it right now or if you wrote that post 3 years ago, in which case it wouldn't be relevant anymore. And so the date and time, or date and month, is important for news sites. But for all my sites that aren't news sites, that really aren't timely content, I just use post name. There's some more options down here for defining your categories and product bases. I just keep these as they are. And we have some product permalinks down here. I keep these as they are as well. Read through here and make changes as necessary. And that's that. Click on Save Changes if you make any changes. And then under Privacy, this is an important section that's hoping to help you create a privacy policy page, which is important for every website. WordPress automatically makes one for you when you install it. It is at Privacy Policy under Pages. Just go and take a look at it. Click on Edit, and there won't be much here because WordPress can't write your privacy policy for you. But we have this text right here about stuff that WordPress does by default. Anytime you add a new plugin, if you want to be GDPR compliant, you have to say what that plugin does with your data or with your visitors' data, if anything at all. If it doesn't do anything, you don't have to put it in your privacy policy. But if it's collecting data for your email list or for collecting addresses for your product sales, that's all got to go in here. And I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give you the exact details in GDPR compliance or international law compliance wherever you happen to live. So make sure that you do your research and write a privacy policy that covers all your bases. So now that we've taken out the demo data in WordPress and we've gone through the settings, we're now going to take a look at WooCommerce. It is installed already because we had SiteGround install it. If SiteGround did not install it for you, or if you're hosting somewhere else that doesn't do it automatically, you just go to Plugins and then Add New, and you look up WooCommerce, and you'll find it right up here. Then you just click on Install Now. Currently mine says Active because it's already installed and active. If you don't have it installed, it's going to say Install Now, like these other plugins do. And then once it's installed, there'll be a blue button that says Activate. Click on that, that'll activate it. Then you'll be put right into the WooCommerce Setup Wizard, which we can access just by going to WooCommerce inside our SiteGround account because we haven't set it up yet. It's going to take us right into the wizard. If we already did the wizard, it would take us right into the WooCommerce dashboard. So right now, it's going to take us to the wizard. Let's click on WooCommerce. Let's walk through how to set this up. On the first page, we want to add an address. This would be your business address. It might be your home. It might be an actual location. Chances are it's not a PO box. So a PO box probably isn't what you have in here, although it might be. Depends on your business. So either way, fill this in for whatever your business address happens to be. I put in a fake address here. You don't want to put in your real one. And you can check this box if you're setting up the store for a client. If you aren't, click on Continue. And then it asks whether you want to send anonymous data to WooCommerce to help them improve WooCommerce. You can choose yes or no. I'm going to choose no. You can choose which industry your e-commerce store is going to operate in. I'm going to choose fashion and apparel for this example, but you choose the one that's appropriate to you. You can also choose other and then write it in here. This doesn't really change a whole lot in the setup, but it's just important information to have listed in your e-commerce site. Click on Continue. You can choose what type of products you want to sell. This also doesn't really affect your WooCommerce setup, but what WooCommerce is doing here is they're trying to sell you on their premium plugins. WooCommerce is the most used free e-commerce solution in the world, but they do have to make some money to be able to build it and maintain it and improve it. And so they do sell a lot of premium add-ons. If you choose physical goods and downloads or don't choose them, doesn't matter. Those options still appear when you make a product. But if you want to have subscriptions, memberships, bookings, bundles, and customized products, there are premium plugins here, even though some of these also have free plugins. So unless you know for sure you need the WooCommerce subscription add-on, you should first see if there's a free version or a free plugin somebody else has made that does what you need. I know for a fact that there's a lot of bundles plugins, a lot of bookings plugins, and membership plugins that'll let you do things to some level for free. But if you need more advanced functionality, they're often a paid plugin anyway. You can also change the price display here. Here it shows monthly. You can change it to annually if that helps for whatever reason. I'm going to click on continue to go to the next step. How many products do you plan to display? I'm going to say 1 to 10 for this example store. You can choose whichever amount you want. Again, this doesn't affect anything on your site. So if you choose 1 to 10, you can still list thousands. It's not a limit that's coded into your store. So choose whatever you think your best guess is and just go with that. Are you currently selling elsewhere, like on a different platform? I'm going to choose no. And I feel like WooCommerce is collecting this data to get more information about their customers. So a lot of these questions, like I said, they don't affect your store. We can include business features. Click this little down arrow to see what they are. There's a lot of them, and they're all free as well. So we have the ability to accept credit cards with WooCommerce payments. When it says free, it's a free plugin, but there's no doubt some kind of service fee to be able to actually process a credit card. Print shipping labels with WooCommerce shipping. That's a free plugin again, but no doubt there's a cost associated with printing a shipping label. It's not free to print a label. Get automated sales tax with WooCommerce tax. I think that is free. That's free, but you should contact an accountant in your area to make sure you have all your tax set up properly. Enhance speed and security with Jetpack. MailPoet is an email sending plugin that lives right in your WordPress site, so you can mail it to all your customers and your subscribers right from WordPress. WooCommerce bought this plugin recently. Drive sales with Google listings and ads. Contact customers with MailChimp, which you don't have to do anymore because you can do that through MailPoet. So I don't know why that's still listed here. WooCommerce doesn't own MailChimp, but they own MailPoet, so I don't know why they wouldn't. Anyway, they're not. You can contact customers with MailChimp using the MailChimp plugin here. Emails made easy with Creative Mail. That's not checked by default. I don't know why it's not. Anyway, when you check all these are all going to be installed on your site. And I'm going to go ahead and keep all these checked and click on continue to install them all. This might take a few minutes, so I'll just pause this video and come back when we're on the next page. That didn't take too long. It took under 2 minutes, maybe even under 1 minute. Here we can choose a theme. This is a curated list of themes that has WooCommerce functionality built in. A lot of them cost money per year. And usually for a theme, it's a good idea because you want to have a theme that's well built and optimized for WooCommerce. And if there's one that's already designed for, say, in this case, for our example, for fashion, then it helps you build your site just that much faster because it's already pre-built with some functionality specifically for fashion that you don't have to make up with free plugins or something or custom coding later on. So you can go through here and find a theme you like. You can sort by paid themes or free themes. I currently have this one installed because all new WordPress sites have this one installed. I'm going to click continue with that because we're going to get a theme from MotoPress instead of using a theme that's listed in here. Let's continue with my active theme. Here it's asking us to create a Jetpack account. This is one of the plugins that we installed when we did the list of plugins earlier. I'm not going to set this up right now, so I'm just going to click on continue without user account. It is a free account as well. It just optimizes your site better. And they also have a paid version, which you see them upselling to right here. If you scroll down a little ways, you're going to see a Jetpack free right here. Click on start for free. And now we're going to have to log back into our site, which will refresh everything inside our site. So all of our settings are set up that we just selected for WooCommerce. And now our WooCommerce is all set up. Now if we click on WooCommerce here, it's not going to take us to the wizard again. It's going to take us to the WooCommerce dashboard where it will show stuff we have to do to get our store set up. So we have a handy little checklist here. First one is add my products. Next is get paid with WooCommerce payments. There's also other payment plugins. So you don't have to use WooCommerce payments, but it's already there. We'll set that up. I'll also set up some others. Set up tax, set up shipping, and personalize my store. We're going to work through this list, but we're not going to do it exactly in this order. We're first going to install the theme that we want. To find it, we're going to go to MotoPress, and the theme we want is listed under themes, WooCommerce templates, clothing store. This is the one we're going to install, the Laveri theme. This is one of the most popular themes on MotoPress. There are others as well. If you have a niche or a store in the grocery market or fish and meat or wine store or craft and handmade goods, you can use one of those themes because they're specifically tailored to those niches. But this one is one of the most popular ones on MotoPress. That's why we're using it. It is $55 for a single site license, $139 for unlimited sites, and that is a yearly amount in US dollars. And the reason, again, you want to have a paid theme is because it provides more features and more support for building your store. And if you find a theme that's specifically designed for your niche, you're already farther along because there's a lot of stuff you don't have to custom build or custom design because it's already built in because it's dedicated and built specifically for your niche. So after you purchase, you'll have this theme inside of your MotoPress account. I already have it downloaded to my hard drive, which is what you would do once you're in your account. And then you click download, you download to your hard drive. Then you go to your WordPress site, go to Appearance, and then Themes, and then Add New, Upload Theme, and then we click on Choose File, and we find the theme file on our hard drive. And we have our Laveri theme here. Click on Install Now to install it. And then when this is done, it says Theme installed successfully. Then we click on Activate, or you can live preview to view it first to see how it looks on your site. I'm just going to go straight to Activate. And we see a list of themes right here. The one on the left with the dark underline is the currently active theme. All the others are themes that aren't currently active. And I highly recommend you delete all the themes that you don't need. You only need one. So delete all the ones that aren't currently active. You can always download them again later, install them again later. But the more themes you have on here, the more chances are going to be there's a security vulnerability in one of these themes that makes your site a little less secure. So I'm going to delete these three by clicking on Theme Details in each one, clicking on Delete in the bottom corner, and then OK. And the next one, Delete and OK. And the last one, Delete and then OK. So now we have just our one theme installed. And up here, this theme requires we install some plugins. We are going to install all these plugins by clicking on Begin Installing Plugins. And the reason we have to install these plugins is because this theme is specifically developed with these plugins. And so if we want all the functionality created with this theme, which we do, we paid for it, so we want to use the theme to its fullest, we have to install all these. So click on Begin Installing Plugins, and I'm going to choose all of them by clicking this box up here. You can choose individual ones if you know what you're doing, but I'm going to choose all of them. I'm going to go to Install and then Apply. Now this is going to go through and install these plugins, and I won't be back because it's done already. And now we can go to plugins. I'm not sure if those are activated automatically as well. We'll see in just a minute. So those are not activated. All the ones with the blue background are activated and installed and running on your site. Click on Inactive up here. That'll list all the inactive plugins. Click on Dismiss for that Jetpack notice. And I'll check this box to select all the inactive plugins. And then I'll go to Activate from this dropdown and click on Apply. And I'll be back once these are all activated. Now that all those plugins are installed, the very next thing we're going to do is install the demo data that comes with the Laveri theme. Any premium theme that you pay for worth its salt has demo data. And Laveri is no different. To get there, to get to the demo data install, we go to Appearance and then Import Demo Data. And we scroll down, click on Import Demo Data. Here it gives the option to install 3 more plugins. These aren't required for the Laveri theme to work, but they can help grow your site, like all-in-one SEO, which allows you to do lots of things, including create contact forms people can contact you with on your website. Monster Insights allows you to add Google Analytics to your site. But like it says down here, you don't need any of these to make the theme work. So we're just going to skip all these and click on Continue and Import. And this is going to import pages, categories, content, products to your site. And that way, you have to do less work. And this is why I want to pick a theme that is related to your niche, because then the imported demo data really gets you going a lot faster. I'm going to pause this video and I'll be back when the demo data is installed. The import is complete, and now we can click on Visit Site to see how it looks. And right out of the gate, I think it looks pretty amazing compared to what it was. Before it was just a blank page with the green background that we saw at the very beginning in this tutorial, and now we have a legitimate homepage with WooCommerce and products built right in. This is a WooCommerce slider widget right here. Click on these options or any of these items, and it's going to take you to the actual product in your store. And then you can go in and customize all these things to make it exactly yours. The menu system works. It's actually a mega menu where you have images, in the menu system and you have columns. This is much more advanced than just a regular menu. We'll get into how all this stuff works throughout this tutorial. And I want to point something else out. If we go back to the home page, this is a home page. It's not a blog page. This is a fully customized home page using Elementor as the page builder. So you can click and drag and drop and customize it really easily. Here we have a missing piece, which is the Instagram widget. We have to connect that to our own Instagram account to have that work. If you don't have one, you can just delete this widget, and I'll show you how to do that later on in this video. And if we go to the blog page, this will be where our blog appears. This is a very nicely designed blog. It's a list of posts that we have here. We see our date, the way we set it in the back end. If you recall earlier, we had the month, the date, and the year as our option. Click on read more and you can see the actual blog post. And clearly you'd be deleting these and creating your own, but this shows how it will look. And it looks pretty darn good. And if we go back into the settings, just to wrap up a loose end really quick, if we go to settings and then reading, if you recall, we were going to switch this from your latest posts to a static page. We're going to choose home page for the home and blog page for the blog. Importing the demo data did that automatically, but this is how it will look. You have a static home page, which is home, and then your blog post to be on the blog page. And then if you make that change manually for whatever reason, you come in here and you save changes and you have those pages set. So at this point, I think it's important to go over how you can customize things. Let's go back out to the website, and on any of the pages where you see Edit with Elementor, you can hover over that and it shows you items that can be customized with Elementor. You can often customize the entire page. You can also customize subsections. You can customize the header, the strata menu item, which helps build the mega menu. So this is the first mega menu, this is the second one, this is the third one. As you see, we have one mega menu, two, this is the regular menu, and here's a third mega menu. And we also have site settings for the overall site inside Elementor, and theme builder, which is used to make templates for pages that can be used over and over and over, where data is inserted into a template that you build. And if we don't choose any of these sub items and just click on Edit with Elementor, we're going to be taken to the page where we can edit most of the content on the home page. And that is right here. Everything you hover over that's editable, you'll see appear in a blue outline. We see a blue border at the top there. This header section up here is actually a slider. Over here, we can change the slider items. If we click on item 1, we see this is the background image. We see the slider just changed. This is the background image for the first slider item. This is the background for the third. You can adjust everything to do with this slider widget. You adjust the subtitle, the title, the description, the button text, the alignment of everything, and the background image. And the third slider will look like this once it slides over to that one. And you can edit all those as you see fit. You can also add more just by clicking add item, or if you duplicate it, the alignment of everything will be already set in the right spot, and it's really easy to just update things and make it your own. You can go through this homepage and click on any one of these areas, edit the text, edit the buttons, change the link to where the links go, and going through here is really simple and setting these things up. Here's a product slider with a product query. And of course, if this is your first time with Elementor or any page builder, it's not quite as simple as I make it out to be, but page builders are literally the easiest way to build nice looking pages. You do have to do some learning. You have to learn where the widgets are, which is right here in this grid icon. You can drag and drop them onto the page. You can put a heading up here at the top, best club ever, join the club, the Laveri club, register or log in. And you can just drag and drop things and just as easily as that, customize your page. Maybe the heading should go over there. Maybe it should be aligned to the right. This depends on what you're trying to build. But if you use demo content like this, you can customize what you have here just by replacing images and moving things around or deleting things. If you want to delete something, just hit the X. That deletes this whole section. If you want to just delete the headline, right click on the pencil, delete the headline. If you want to just change the text, just click on it and change the text. Page builders make it really simple without any coding at all to customize your pages to exactly what you need. In this section down here, starting with this colored background area right down to the bottom, is the footer. That can't be edited in this demo with Elementor or inside of this page itself here because it's not built with Elementor. This is built in the customizer, which is basically theme settings. So this comes with the theme, and you can customize it in the customizer, and this is a way to help you keep your costs down. In order to be able to edit something like this inside of Elementor, you have to get Elementor Pro, which involves an annual fee. $49, I believe, is the cheapest one. That's for one site, and then it just goes up from there for the cost. So to keep this free, they built this into the customizer settings. The header is not in the customizer. It's built a little differently. If we go back out to this page, let's just go to the home page, hover over Edit with Elementor, and then click on Header. We can edit just the header section specifically. This is the logo. If you want to change that, just click on it, click on Custom Image, and then put in your own logo right here. This logo is really nice, so we'll just keep that one there. And the mega menus that we see when we hover over here, those can't be edited in here either. These are built using the Stratum plugin, also by WordPress. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. But we can change which menu we want in here by clicking on this pencil, or just clicking on this menu area, and we select the menu. We have primary mega menu set. This again is imported with the demo data. When you use demo data, there is a bit of a learning curve, as I was mentioning earlier with Elementor, because it's going to import a lot of stuff and you don't really know what that stuff is yet. But it's faster for you to learn how to make changes and tweaks than it is to learn from scratch how to build something like this or come up with these ideas to build something like this. We can change these icon sets on the right-hand side just by clicking on the pencil, and then we can turn widgets on and off just by choosing on or off. And that's super handy to have that there, especially for a WooCommerce site with the wish list and the cart and everything like that, and the account link and everything like that. This is where we customize the header, and this header appears on all pages on your site. Let's go back out to the main page, and this time we'll hover over Edit with Elementor and go to Stratum menu item 730. Click on that. And here is the mega menu item. If we click on any of these items, we can edit them on the left-hand side, and this becomes the mega menu that you saw. So each of the mega menu components that you see here, women, men, and summer sale, those are customized in Elementor like I just showed you on that page. The pages menu is a regular menu that is set up as a regular menu. So to customize the menus, we go to the dashboard again, and then go to Appearance and Menus. So on the Menus page, we have to choose the menu we want to edit, which in this case is the primary mega menu. Click on Select once you've selected that from the dropdown. And here we see a different representation of our menu. Let's just go to the main front end so you can see it again. We have women as a mega menu, men as a mega menu, pages as a regular dropdown, and summer sale as a mega menu. That's reflected here with women, men, and then pages with all the menu items in here, and then summer sale. If you click on any of these to open them, click on the down arrow, you will see ways to customize these, including a Edit Mega Menu button for any menus that are mega menus. Click on Edit Mega Menu, and it opens the Elementor editor right here in line in the menu area. You can make any edits you need, just like you did inside of Elementor. Super simple. And then you've edited your mega menu. You can move these items around. If you want to have summer sale first, just click and drag and put that at the very top. Under pages, we have things like shop and blog. Maybe we want to have those on the main menu, not in a drop-down. Currently they're indented below pages. That means they're going to be a sub-item of pages, but we can click and drag and move them out and make sure they're lined up on the far left, the same as pages, and that becomes its own menu item on the menu in the front end. And these menu items have the same number of options. They also have an Edit Mega Menu, and you can create a new mega menu on any menu item by clicking Enable Mega Menu and then Edit Mega Menu to create the mega menu. And the mega menu just means that there's images and you can put videos and text, and they're wider and will have multiple columns into a menu system. That's uncommon, and it has a special name, and it's called Mega Menu. And all these pages that we have listed on this menu system are not things you need on your site per se, but they are pages that illustrate what Laveri gives you in the demo data. If you want to add more pages, you can just find them on the left-hand side on this list right here under Most Recent. You can choose View All to see all your pages. You can also search to find a specific page. If you find one you want, click on the checkbox, click on Add to Menu, and it'll be added at the bottom right here, and you can drag and drop it wherever you want it to appear. Then click on Save Menu to save your changes. If you want to delete an item that's in the menu, let's click on the down arrow and click on Remove. And now it's gone from your menu. Click on Save Menu when you've completed your changes. And then we can go to the front site or the main site, refresh, and we see summer sales now first, and we have our other menu items after that. So that's how we can customize the header section by going into Elementor, clicking on header. That'll customize this main overlying menu area. To customize the menus themselves, including the mega menus, you can go to each section here, or you can go to Appearance and Menus and then customize them through here by clicking on Edit Mega Menu, and you can rearrange them. You can add pages, remove pages, and that way you can customize your header and your main navigation. Now your footer is a little bit different. The footer is down below at the very bottom, starting with this row with the beige background right down to the bottom of the page. This is edited inside of the customizer. To get there, we can click on Customize, or if you're in the WordPress dashboard, you can go to Appearance and then Customize. Both will take you to the same place. And then if we scroll down to the very bottom, we see pencils appearing, and this means these are all editable inside the customizer. Click on the pencil, and then you can edit what's called, in this case, the top footer widget 4, which is this specific widget right here. And this is HTML and CSS and SVG code for the icon. If you don't want to deal with that, just leave it as it is, or you can just delete this section if you want. It's not too hard to learn, but it's still a bit. It's still a bit to learn. And so to edit any of these, we click on the pencil, or we can go to Widgets and edit footer 1, footer 2, footer 3, top footer 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that'll edit any of these sections right here. Footer 1 and footer 2 are the navigation and social. Footer 3 is currently blank. So if we go to footer 1, we'll see the information for nav and this link set right here. And there it is. We just click on this box to edit it. We can edit the title, and we have footer navigation selected for the navigation menu. And this is also built under Appearance and Menus. Let's quickly go back there to show you what I mean. Go to Appearance and then Menus. From this drop down, select Footer Navigation, click on Select, and we see we have Collections, Customer Service, About Us, and Contacts, which is this link set right here, and selected as the menu right here on the left. So you can come into Appearance and Menus, edit this however you need to, and that will update this footer section right here. Footer 2 has a different menu, is actually blank. So this is footer 3 right here, not footer 2. So let's go to footer 3. And you can have these or not have these. It's up to you. Click on it. We can change the title. For some reason, this tailwind thing is getting in the way. Anyway, you can change the title and change the menu. Currently set to footer socials. You can change that to whatever you want to have there. The menus at the bottom, same thing. Click on the pencil, take you right to that spot. You can choose which menu you want to have there. There's a primary, which is the primary menu, and a footer left and a footer right, and that puts them in their respective locations. And you can find them inside the dashboard under the menu system. Footer left, footer right, primary, and that will allow you to customize all those links down there. So that's how you can customize the footer. And inside the customizer, there's also a lot more stuff specific to the Laveri theme that we can edit. We can edit site identity here. This is where the logo appears that we saw inside the Elementor editor. We can replace it in the Elementor editor, or we can replace it here. Both work. Now that we've seen some of the basic customizations you can do on your site and how to do them, let's take a look at the shop specifically. To get to your shop, just go to the main WordPress dashboard, then hover over the name of your site, and you can go to Visit Store. And when I say shop or Visit Store, that means anything you created inside WooCommerce as a product to sell. That's what's going to be listed in the shop or store, depending on what you want to call it. So if we go there, we see our items right here. And these are products created inside of WooCommerce that people can click on. They can take a look at them. They can zoom in like they do on Amazon. You have different images. Gives you more information on the right. You can add a description. People can leave reviews. You can have related products down below. And most importantly, someone can choose the number of items they want and click on Add to Cart. And now someone can click on View Cart and actually check out and buy it. They can also click on this little icon up here where there's now a 1, where there used to be 0. And there's 1 item in there. If we click on there, it shows all the items that are in our cart. In this case, it's just 1. Click on Checkout here or View Cart. There's a bunch of different ways to get to the same place, which ends up with you getting money for people buying stuff on your store. So here's a summary of the cart and any taxes and things that are applied, which we haven't got to yet, but I'll show you how to add taxes in a moment. Then click on Proceed to Checkout. Then they can enter their name and billing info here. and they can choose their payment method. Currently, we don't have one set up, but we'll get to that as well. And then they can place order, and then there'll be an order created inside of WooCommerce, and you can then fulfill that order. So the very first step in this process is actually creating a product. So let's go back out to the shop. And by a product, I mean an individual item in the store. So let's do that. There's a lot of different options for creating products. Let's go back into the dashboard and let's go to products and let's look at all products first. This is a list of all the products in your store. There are currently 100 in this store. This is the demo data that we imported earlier. And we have some that are out of stock, most are in stock, you have prices, you have sales, the ones that are crossed out and have a lower price at the sale. So there's a lot of different ways that are being shown to you as the person imports the demo data on how to create products. When you want to create a new product, you can either go to the very top of your products list and click on Add New, or click on Add New on the left. Both will take you to the same place, which is this place right here where we can add new products. In this first field, we add a product name. Our demo product here is going to be men's button-up shirt. Then we can add a description right here, the best men's button-up shirt around, and then we can define what kind of WooCommerce product it is. We have the option of choosing simple product, group product, external or affiliate product, and variable product. So first, the simple product is just one item, like a shirt, for example. So for this shirt, we'd be choosing this simple product option. What if you wanted to sell a shirt, a pair of pants, and some socks together? Well, for that, we have a group product. A lot of the options are the same for all of these. And the group product, we can go to linked products, and then let's see if we can find some pants. Here's some pants. Maybe there's some socks in this store. No, but I did see a purse, bag. There we go. Cross body bag. I don't know what that is, but either way, a group product now has two of these products together. So a group product adds a bunch of simple products into one. So this slim fit structured cotton shirt is a simple product from this dropdown, and so is this one here. And we put them together into one listing. You sell them both at the same time through one listing, and that is now a grouped product. External or affiliate product is a product that you're not selling on your site, but somebody else is selling, and you're getting a commission. So you could be selling those socks that we don't have in our store. Maybe somebody else has the perfect socks that they sell, and then you can refer your buyers to their store, and then you get a commission of anything that's sold. So that's an affiliate product. An external product is the same idea, only you might not get a commission for it. Maybe it's a friend of yours who's starting their store and they're brand new, and you want to help them get some traffic and some sales. Maybe you're helping them, and then you'd use external product, but it's the exact same setup as affiliate product. You just link to somewhere else. But you still add the price, you still add pictures, you still do everything else we're going to do for the simple product. It's just not sold in your store. Then we have a variable product. This is one that can have multiple different variations. A variable product is easier to show than to explain. So I found this variable product in the store here, and it is 4 relaxed fit crop trousers, which you see here. And we can choose to have them be in red, which costs $85, or we can choose them to be in white, which costs $75. With various plugins and things, you can have this image actually switch out. So when you click on red, it'll show red ones. When you click on white, it'll show white ones. Just out of the box, we don't have that here, but we do have the ability to add what's called swatches, which is one of the plugins we installed when we installed Laveri, and it adds these swatch settings here, which allows you to have, just instead of having it blue and white, having it really simple like that. Usually it's a drop down on the default WordPress. So we already have something that's a little bit cooler with this blue and white. I'll show you again, or sorry, red and white right here. Usually that's a drop down in the default WooCommerce settings. Now we have something clickable, something a little neater than just a drop down. And with the swatches, we can add even cooler stuff. We can add actual colors. We can have little thumbnails. We can have colors and thumbnails. And so that's what the swatch settings can do for you. There's also a pro version that has more advanced features. At the end of the day, all you really need is just this. People understand color. So if they choose red, they get the red one. Choose white, they get the white one. So it is fancier to have little thumbnails and colors, but it's not required. And so a variable product, just to reiterate, is just a simple product with variations. So in this case, red pants and white pants. You can have as many variations as you want. You could have pants be every color of the rainbow, and they can just go through and choose. So let's just go back to that product and go to Edit Product. We can easily add new variations. First, we have to go to Attributes, and we have the color attribute. Inside the color attribute, we have white and red. We can also add all kinds of other colors, ones that are predefined right here. I select all the predefined ones. Then I click on add new, and I can make a blue one. And let's maybe add a yellow. And then we have to click on save attributes. And then we can go to variations once this is reloaded. And then we can click on or choose add variation from the dropdown, click on go. And we can choose any of those new colors that we added. So maybe black. Let's add another one. Let's make this yellow. And don't worry about the numbers on the side. This is actually a reference number for what item number this is in the database. So it's just for the back end of WordPress, even just for developers, not even for regular WooCommerce users. So don't worry about those numbers. Let's click on Save Changes when you have all the variations added that you want. And now that we've saved changes, we have a warning here that 2 variations don't have prices. So we need to add prices for those variations. To add prices, just hover over any of the items and click on this little down arrow. And then we have a lot of information that you usually see on the simple product page that you can adjust in here. So the regular price, let's make the yellow one, let's make it 65, no sale price, actually sale price, 55. Then we can click on that arrow again to collapse that, and the black one, let's make this one 90 and no sales price. And then save changes. And now we can view the product and we see our new options added. Black is 90, red is 85, white is 75, yellow was 65, now it's 55 on sale. That's as far as we're going to go on variable products in this tutorial, but there are literally hundreds of different WooCommerce add-ons to help you expand your WooCommerce store, including a whole bunch of variable products. So you can do more stuff with variable products. So I'm just scratching the surface, and there are tons of tutorials on YouTube to help you with that, or search through Google and find websites with written content. There are lots and lots of tutorials to help you with pretty much whatever you need with WooCommerce. In this tutorial, we're going to add a simple product, which is the men's button-up shirt. Let's give it a price of $25. Inventory, you can add a SKU number if you want to manage your stock, manage your inventory. If you don't use that, don't worry about it. You don't really need it. Although the SKU numbers are searchable in search engines, so sometimes people just search for a SKU instead of trying to find the product by the product name. They might have the SKU number stored somewhere. They Google that, and they often find store inventory using the SKU numbers. And shipping, we're going to set up right after we create our simple product. The linked products page is different than the group products. This allows you to add upsells and cross-sells. So when you make a sale of this product, people will re-recommend other products, the ones that you enter into here. So maybe we want to have a different shirt here. And the cross-sell, we want to have some shoes. Must be shoes in here. There's some right there. So then you'll be shown this is an upsell, and this is a cross-sell on the checkout page. Under attributes, you can add attributes for simple products the same way you can for variable products, but they're not toggling like they do in the variable products. These would be attributes that are attached to this simple product and all the simple products you buy on this page. I hope that made sense. And advanced, you can add a purchase note like thanks for purchasing, or we're having heavy orders in this item. It'll be a week later than we anticipate, sorry. Whatever you want, you can add in here as a purchase note or nothing at all, totally up to you. Here's a product description again. I'm going to just copy and paste what we have up here. So we're done the main column. Now we have to work on the right-hand column. We pick a category. I'm going to add this to the men's collection under shirts. These categories are imported with the demo data. If you don't have these, you can create your own. All you do is click on add new category. Let's call this one kids collection, keeping with the theme. Click on add category, and now we have a kids collection. Now, if we want something underneath there as a child category, we can type in here shoes and then choose kids collection as the parent. Click on add new category, and it puts it under the kids collection. So that's how easy it is to add categories, and that helps you organize your store if you have a lot of products. You can add product tags as well for further customization. This is often things like attributes. So for example, the color black could be a tag that you add to all the items in your store that are colored black, or leopard print, or green, or rainbow, or whatever. And then people can click on the tag and then see all the items that match whatever that tag happens to be. You also have leather be a tag. Any kind of attribute you can think of related to your products could be a tag to help you organize and help people find more stuff that they like. Under product image, we can set the product image. We can also have a product gallery. I usually set both, and I'm going to upload a picture of the shirt. And this is it right here. Just uploading kind of the shirt off angle for the featured image. And then we add another image for the product galleries. I'm going to add 2 more in this case. And we have the shirt front and back. Just going to make sure I select one of these, click on add to gallery, and then add the other one to the gallery as well. And now we have our main featured image plus the 2 images in the gallery. And that is the product done. Click on publish or save draft, and you can see how this looks on the front end. Product is saved, click on view product here or up here in the main menu. And we have our shirt right there. And we also have the front and the back. Nice looking shirt. I buy that for 25 bucks. And we also have all the options on the right hand side. Checkout and order, the description. Obviously you want to have more of a description for yours. I just kept it short and sweet. And we have reviews from people who bought the product. And we have this as the upsell. I believe it's the upsell. Let me check. We define these under linked products. The upsell is the t-shirt. The cross-sell is the shoes. So this is the upsell right here. And people can add that to cart. If you add more upsells, they appear here as well. So people who buy this shirt, you'd want to show other products that those people like to buy as well if you have that data. Now if we add this to our cart and then we take a look at our cart, we see we have these trainers as a cross-sell. And these are also what we added on the linked products tab in the simple product setup. And so people can add these to their cart right here. Click on add to cart. Bada bing, they're added in. And now they can update their cart if they make changes to the quantities or anything. They can also press the X to delete them. And when they're ready, they can proceed to checkout and send you some money and you'll send them some product. So that's how we create products in WooCommerce. And like I said, there's many different kinds. We're just doing the simple product in this video, but there's literally hundreds, maybe thousands of tutorials that will help you figure out exactly how to create the products you want inside of WooCommerce. So what you really need at the end of the day is a solid theme like Laveri that integrates really well with WooCommerce, makes everything look beautiful like this theme does. And then all the details, all the minor things of how to do exactly what you want inside of WooCommerce. There's lots of tutorials to help with that. And things are pretty well explained. So you can just go in on your own after you watch this video and get pretty far and then just look up things you need help with. Let's close out of here. And now we're going to check out the WooCommerce settings. There are lots of them. This is where you define things like the payment methods you accept, your shipping, your taxes, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's a very important place to make sure you customize exactly how you need them. And where you do that is under WooCommerce and settings. It's only one link in the main area, but there's a whole bunch of tabs that we have to go through to make sure everything's set up just right for your needs. So in the general tab, we have our store address information, which you can update at any time here. In the general options section, you can set your selling locations. So if you only sell to particular countries, you can pick which countries here. So you can choose all countries except for if you sell to most countries but only have a few that you don't sell to, or you can sell to specific countries if you only have a few countries that you do sell to. Let me quickly illustrate those two methods. Sell to all countries except for, example, Canada. So you sell everywhere except for to Canada. You want to use this option if there's only a handful of countries that you don't sell to, because it'll take you a lot of time to enter them if there's a lot. And if you have only a few countries you sell to, choose this option and just add the ones you want to sell to in here. Canada, United States, Mexico. So if you're selling just to North America, you can just put those countries in here, and those are the countries that will be allowed as shipping locations. So if someone enters a shipping address outside of these countries, their order will not work. And you can easily remove countries at any time by clicking the X, and you can also add them back in. I'm going to keep it as all countries, and the shipping locations, you can set the same thing. Ship to all countries that you sell to, ship to all countries, ship to specific countries only, disable shipping and shipping calculations if you just have a flat rate. There are some stores that do this where they don't really want to worry about all the shipping and all the shipping calculations, so they just bake the shipping into the price of their product, and then they just say free shipping on everything. Or they say there's a minimum order amount, let's say it's $50, and then free shipping on everything. Not just a minimum order for free shipping, just the minimum order in this store, you have to order at least $50 or more, and then you ship everything for free. Default customer location, you can set it as the shop base address. No default location, You can geolocate and geolocate with page caching support. This tries to detect where the person's coming from. And then if your store has different currencies for different places, for example, it will switch them based on where they're coming from, which can be kind of hit or miss, especially if people are using a VPN or if they are from Holland, for example, but they're traveling and they're in France right now. And so it'll detect them as being from France because they're in France. Maybe they're shopping on their phone, but they're actually from Holland. So it can be hit or miss to geolocate. So choose the one that you think is right for you. You can also switch back and forth whenever you want. You can enable taxes. This is a smart thing to do, but you do have to know what taxes to apply. And to find out, you have to talk to a tax professional in your region, because I'm not even a tax professional in my own region, let alone yours. So don't take my advice on anything about taxes, except for that you should be applying them when you should be applying them so you can pay them to the government, because it's not a lot of fun when the government comes after you for taxes you should have paid to them. So make sure you talk to somebody about what taxes you need to be charging. There's a specific tab to set up more tax information in here as well, and more shipping info. I'll show you both of those. You can enable coupons. You can enable coupons. If you have multiple coupons, you can allow them to each be added. So if you check this, the first coupon will apply to the full price, and the second coupon will apply to the discounted price. Then the third coupon would apply to the next discounted price. So if you have like two 50% off coupons, for example, and you allowed someone to use both of them, that would add up to 100%, unless you check this box. In this case, if say the product was $100, they apply a 50% off coupon, it would be $50, and then they apply the second coupon on the discounted price, so the 50 goes down to 25 instead of going down to 0. So check that box if it's needed on your store. Here we can choose our currency. There's a lot of currencies. In fact, maybe every currency on the planet except for, no, including Bitcoin, no Dogecoin. There's so many cryptos out there now, who knows what they all are. But you choose your currency here. There's also extra plugins. I'm sure there's a cryptocurrency plugin that adds more cryptocurrency options other than Bitcoin in here. Then you can define how the currency appears, because different countries have different separators for 1,000, different separators for decimals. They usually have the same number of decimals, sometimes 0 though. So just set up here what you need for your currency, then click on Save Changes. And then head over to Products. Here you choose the Shop page. This is where the main shop appears. WooCommerce creates a page called Shop and automatically adds a shop into here, but you can put the shop on any page you want. It would overwrite anything that's already there. So pick a page that's dedicated to the shop and choose it here if you don't want to have shop be the place where the shop is. You can change the add to cart behavior. If you recall earlier, we added something to the cart and it stayed on the page. We just had a little notification that says it's been added to the cart. If you check this box, you'll be taken to your cart every time you add something to your cart. And enabling Ajax means the page isn't refreshed whenever something's added to the cart, which is good for user experience. And this is the ID of the placeholder image. We saw that one earlier inside the media. See if we look it up really quick. Here it is right here. If we click on that, we see up here it's item number 4. And so that number 4 is what's added right here. And then that's just always the placeholder image. WooCommerce sets this up automatically, but you can change your placeholder image by uploading a different one and just adding the number that appears up here when you look at the attachment details for that image. You can set your measurement sizes here, either metric or empirical. You can enable reviews, got a bunch of review options as well, and product ratings, and then save changes when you're done. And there are sub tabs inside the products tab. We're on general right now. There's also the inventory tab. This will allow you to manage stock for your inventory and all the settings you need to manage your stock. And downloadable products will allow you to set what happens after someone buys a downloadable product. You can choose the download method, access restrictions, so you can make people log in to your site first. So they have to create an account when they check out, and then they log in to get their download, or they just get the download immediately when they pay. You can set that up how you need to. On the shipping tab, we can add what are called shipping zones. Here it explains what they are. A shipping zone is a geographic region where a certain set of shipping methods and rates apply. So you might have a shipping zone all across North America, for example, or just Canada, or just a single state like California, or a single province like British Columbia. And you can have this down right down to the neighborhood if you really wanted. You could have different shipping zones for each neighborhood in the city, but that would be way overkill. I don't recommend that. The fewer shipping zones you have, the easier it's going to be able to manage all this stuff. However, that being said, once you add all your shipping zones, WooCommerce handles everything else. Everything's based on the shipping address that your customer adds when they check out. And so everything's done automatically. So maybe you do want to be very specific. This depends what your shipping needs are, and that depends heavily on what you're shipping. And to add a shipping zone, all you do is click on Add Shipping Zone. I'm going to call this Canada. You can have one shipping zone for all of Canada. What are the regions? If I could spell Canada, I'm just going to say all of Canada. I could pick specific provinces if I wanted. They're all listed here. If you wanted a shipping zone to be a province, I guess you can't go right down to the city, but you can limit to specific zip codes and postal codes, which there are multiple in a city, so you could limit by that. I don't know why you'd want to, but you could. You can add a shipping method down here. So maybe all of Canada is a flat rate. Maybe it's free shipping. Maybe it's a local pickup. Let's just add a flat rate, and then we can click on Edit. And this will allow us to add a flat rate shipping. So let's say $30. And tax status, this is something, again, you have to talk to someone who knows their taxes in your region. When you set taxable here, tax will be applied to the shipping cost as well as the overall purchase cost. If you set this to none, the shipping cost will be excluded from the taxes. So pick the one that's correct for your region. Click on Save Changes. Now we've added a shipping rate for Canada. So if someone enters Canada for their location, this shipping rate will be applied. You can also add another one. So maybe local pickup. And so the person who checks out will have the choice of either local pickup or a flat rate. Let's click on Edit for local pickup. We have the same options here. Local pickup is often $0. Let's make it not taxable because it's $0, even though tax on 0 is still 0. Anyway, now we have two options. So if someone buys something and they live in Canada, they can ship via flat rate or pick it up, and you'd have to tell them where to pick it up, obviously. Under shipping options, we can have a shipping calculator. You can hide the shipping costs until an address is entered, which makes sense, especially if you have shipping zones that depend on the address. The shipping destination tells you and tells the customer where the item is going to be shipped to. So default to the customer's shipping address, default to the customer's billing address, forced shipping to be the customer billing address. And this will be defined on the front end as well. So whatever you choose here, the customer is going to be told this is where the item is going to be shipped to. And usually the shipping address would make the most sense. So I default to the customer's shipping address. I believe if you choose this, they don't have to enter a shipping address. So it'll just default to the customer's billing address. But sometimes people buy something for the office, but their home address is different, or the address on their credit card is their home address, but they're buying something for their office, which is somewhere else. So I like to give them the ability to add a shipping address as well. Check this box to enable debug mode so you can troubleshoot any errors. Don't check that on a regular production site because you don't want people seeing those errors. Shipping classes allows you to define shipping based on products. So if we add a shipping class, let's call this big and heavy for big and heavy products. Let's call it big for the slug, large items, and saved shipping classes. So now we have a separate shipping class for heavy things. If you sell t-shirts but also bike racks, the shipping for a bike rack might be different than the shipping for a hat, for example. So you can have different shipping rates for the heavier items. WooCommerce shipping. This is a plugin, I believe, that allows you to print shipping labels. And this makes your life a lot easier when you have this integrated and set up because somebody orders, you can just print the label and put it in the mailbox. Super simple. You don't have to write anything out manually. And sometimes if you're a big seller, you might even have a truck come directly to your location every day to pick up all the items that you're shipping because you're paying the post office or FedEx or whoever to do the shipping. So they're more than happy to come directly to you to make your life easier if you're a high volume customer. In this tutorial, we're not going to set up shipping labels, but this is a place where you can do it. Payments are very important because you likely don't want to sell all your wares for free. You want to have the ability to receive payment. By default, you can have direct bank transfer, check payments, and cash on delivery. WooCommerce payments are added by a plugin that we install when we set up the site. And to turn any of these on, we just have to click this toggle. Now this one's on, cash on delivery. Click on setup on the right. You should maybe click on setup before you turn it on. Check this box to enable it. Give it a title, give it a description, cash upon delivery, instructions, pay with cash upon delivery, enable for shipping methods. So in here, it's listing the ones we created, Canada flat rate and Canada local pickup, and also anything within those categories. So if you want all flat rate shipping to be applied on cash on delivery, just choose any flat rate method, and then it would be COD. And then once you have that set up, click on Save Changes, and then you'll have that payment method available. Go back to all payment methods. The WooCommerce payments allows you to accept credit cards and debit cards. That's likely one you're going to want to have. Click on Setup. You can also use Stripe add-ons. There's a Stripe plugin, there's a PayPal plugin for WooCommerce payments. So if you have a Stripe account, you can really easily integrate it with your WooCommerce site. In here, all you have to do is click on Finish Setup, and then you go through these 3 steps: create an account, provide a few billing details, and your setup is complete. You can accept Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Diners Club, whatever this is, Discover Card, Union Pay, JCB, Google Pay, Apple Pay, once you go through these 3 easy steps. We're not going to do it in this video, but the steps are pretty straightforward and it walks you through all of them. So let's head back out to here and then go to accounts and privacy. Here you can choose a lot of options relating to accounts and privacy, whether someone has to make an account to make a purchase on your site, or log into an existing account, or allow them just all check out as guest, which means they don't have to have an account. And you can set which ones you want here. They're all really well explained. You have specific privacy policies for registrations and for checkouts. You can enter those here. And personal data retention. This would be something you define as well when someone checks out, so they know how long you're keeping their info. And if you don't keep their info for any time at all, just keep all these at NA, or even 0 could be entered in here. And then save changes if you made any changes. For emails, we can define the emails that are sent out when things happen in your store. There's a new order email that goes to the admin. This is the admin email for the site. Canceled order going to the admin, failed order going to the admin, and then to the customer, we have sent order on hold, processing order, completed order, refunded order, customer invoice / order details, customer note, reset password, new account, and abandoned cart. Abandoned cart is currently turned off or disabled. Click on any of these on the right-hand side to manage them. And by manage, we mean you can customize what information is in that email. Either delete the email address that's here, or add a comma, then add another email address. And then this email will be sent to both of these emails. This is the default subject line. It's going to insert the site title, a colon, new order, hashtag, and the order number. The placeholders you can use are listed if you hover over this little question mark. And we also have the email heading, new order, colon, hashtag, order number. We have variables we can put in there as well, same as the subject ones. And then additional content, this would be the body of the email. Email type, you can have HTML or plain text. Plain text is more likely to get through spam filters, but HTML can be made to look a little more fancy. Click on Save Changes if you made any changes, and we've now customized our new order email. And you can go ahead and customize all of these emails. And down below, you can customize your emails via Creative Mail. I said a moment ago, you can choose plain text or HTML emails. Creative Mail is HTML emails, but you can design them to make them look really, really nice using Creative Mail, which is a plugin we installed earlier. All you have to do is click on Manage, click on Agree and let's get started. Then we create an account, and then we can customize the appearance of our emails using a drag and drop editor. So that's super simple for customizing these emails, even though the plain text ones work just fine. You don't have to use something like Creative Mail. You can, but you don't have to. On the integration tab, we can integrate with Maxmind, which helps you geolocate. This makes your geolocation a little bit better than the default WordPress ones if you want to change the store, especially the currency, based on where someone's coming from in the world. You can add that here. Under Advanced, we can select which pages we want set for different types of pages. So the cart page is set to the cart. Checkout page is set to checkout. My account page is set to my account. Terms and conditions set to terms and conditions. And we can have endpoints. This is more developer type stuff. When someone buys something, they're going to go to a page that doesn't really exist as a page in WordPress, but this will be on the URL. So it's going to be your website /order-pay, even though that might not be an actual page that's created under pages or posts. But this is a place where they will go, and it'll load a page like it's supposed to, but it won't be a page you created, if that made sense. So if you're a dev, this is definitely important information here. Most people aren't though, but if you're a developer, you find what you need in the Advanced tab. There's REST API, which is also for developers. You can create an API key and connect to your WordPress site from elsewhere using API key. You can create webhooks, which allows you to send data to somewhere else using what's called a webhook. There's the legacy API, which is before the REST API, and then WooCommerce.com, which allows you to enable usage tracking and marketplace suggestions from WooCommerce. I never turn these on, but you can turn them on right here if you want to. On the multi-currency tab, you can set the ability to have multiple currencies. By clicking on Get Started, you're taken back to the WooCommerce payments setup we did earlier, or that I showed you earlier. And in here, you'll be able to set up multiple payment types. For example, if someone visits your site and they're from the US, it'll be American dollars. If they visit from England, it'll be British pounds. If they visit from France, it'll be euro. You get the idea. So you can customize or specify the currency based on where they're coming from, which is really good for user experience. So I highly recommend that you set that up. So that's the WooCommerce settings area. We also have coupons. On the left-hand side here, if you click on coupons under WooCommerce, we have the ability to add coupons. Click on Add Coupon to create a new one, and you can create as many coupons as you want. So let's call this one 10% off, and we can define where this coupon is going to be used on your site. So under General, we have the discount type. So this is a fixed cart discount or a percentage discount or a fixed product discount. I'm going to choose percentage. I'm going to say 10%. If this is a free shipping coupon, you check this box to enable free shipping, and you can add an expiry date. So if you have this for a specific sale, you can have it end on a specific day. Under usage restrictions, you can define if it can only be used on its own, not in conjunction with other things. You can exclude items that are on sale in your store. You can have it for just specific products or exclude specific products or product categories. And you can even disable certain emails from using this. Whatever emails you enter here, if those emails are entered on the checkout form, they can't use this discount. Usage limits allows you to define how many times this coupon can be used. And like I said earlier, you can have as many as you want. So we didn't set any restrictions or usage limits, and then just click on Update or Save or Publish or whatever that button is to save whatever changes you have. And then click on Generate Coupon Code. This is the actual code that someone will use when they check out to take advantage of that sale. If you click on coupons, we see a list of all the coupons that are generated for your site. The last thing we want to take a look at is what actually happens when someone orders something from your site. So let's go to the store, close our other tabs over here, and we still have items in our cart. We can see a little 3 up here. So we have 3 items in our cart. Let's just check out and buy these. Let's click on checkout. Then we fill out this order form. We can add a shipping address if it's different from above. I'm going to uncheck this so it's the same. If someone checks this box, it means they're okay with getting newsletters and email content. Here's a summary of the order. I'm going to say local pickup, so we get it for free shipping, which I love. I'm going to pay cash on delivery as well. You can check this box, get emails about discounts and product info. It's different than the checkbox above, the same kind of idea. Check this box to agree with the website terms and conditions, then click on Place Order. And the order's been received. Here's the order information. Here's more order details. Here's the billing address, and that's that. Now, if we go into our website and we go to WooCommerce and orders, we see our new order right here. Click on that, and we can see all the information about the order on this page, including when they ordered, who ordered it, who the customer was, billing address, shipping info, any notes the person made would appear on the right-hand side over here. It shows what they ordered, what type of shipping they wanted, local pickup in this case, and that's how orders look when they come in on your site. Then you fulfill them, and on the top right here, under Order Actions, you choose an action, and you can email invoice order details to customer. This is done automatically, but if they need that information again, you can just click on this, then click on this arrow, and that will rerun the email invoice order details email and send that to them again. You can also resend new order notification, which is what goes to the seller, which is you or someone on your team, and regenerate download permissions. This is for a downloadable product. So let's say you have a time limit to the download. If they don't download it in time, you can regenerate download permissions so they have more time to actually download whatever it is they want to download. And on the right, we have the status of the order. So right now it's processing, which means the order's been placed, and now it's in our hands in the back end. From this drop down, we can choose pending payment, which might be more accurate for this because it's cash on delivery, but we're also processing, so it depends on how you run your back end. You can have it on hold, you can have it be completed, canceled, refunded, and failed. So choose the one that's applicable to this item's progress right now. And if you go to the orders list that is reflected in here, right now it's in processing, and if we change it to completed, and then click on update, and then back on the orders page, it now shows as completed. And so that is how you build a WooCommerce store with the Laveri theme. If you followed along with this video, you probably have a store that's live right now. You just have to customize it with your products and your taxes and your shipping and everything like that. But you have everything you need in place to start accepting payments through your store and sending your product out to your customers. There are no more excuses. All you have to do is do it, because you have all the tools you need. You saw all the processes. Most of this is free. The only stuff you have to pay for is the domain name, the hosting, and the Laveri theme. And you can upgrade certain plugins if you want to do that, but it's not required when you're starting out. Just follow this video, create your store, and start selling your products. Then you can upgrade to other plugins to make your experience easier and more seamless as you go along. Next up, check out this video right here, which is the one that YouTube thinks is the best for you to watch next. So check out that video. And if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.